Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Bailey. My name is Kylie Davey, and I did a creative piece entitled The Effect of Forced Isolation on the Human Psyche and the Power of Human Spirit. So my thesis essentially is talking about isolation, and while it has many negative effects, stressors such as loneliness, anxiety, depression, worse mental health, physical mental health effects, I would like to focus more on the positive aspects of the COVID-19 pandemic. There's definitely an emotional arc throughout my poems and my creative piece, starting with forced isolation, alluding to the unknown, getting to reflection, and concluding with hope for the future, which I hope to convey through this presentation. So the COVID-19 pandemic affects our society greatly, and I would like to direct your attention to a quote from the World Health Organization stating that this time of crisis is generating stress throughout the population. The second quote is just from another resource that I looked at, just emphasizing the struggle of mental health amongst our society. The first poem that I would like to talk about is Loneliness. And I took a lot of inspiration from Paul A. Treschler's Escaping the Sentence, Diagnosis, and Discourse, which was one of my secondary sources for my project. I love the quote she uses to describe isolation, which is self-perpetuating, forcing deeper isolation. And this poem, Loneliness, inspired by Rupi Kaur and Paul A. Treschler, really describes the trials and tribulations that our society has endured. So, loneliness can be a wondrous time of reflection. What would happen if we listened to what we tell ourselves? What would happen if we sat alone with nothing but our thoughts? Creativity is dying because we are no longer bored. What if we made boredom intentional? The next poem that I would like to talk about, I entitled The Phoenix, and it has a lot of feelings from the yellow wallpaper, but since Bailey talked much about that, I will refer back to like the energy and the simplicity. So the simplicity of this piece was inspired by Rupi Kaur, and for me, poems are really about the energy. So there's a lot of energy from Amanda Gorman, and really this depiction of darkness turning into light in that journey. So, the Phoenix, a desperate desire to rise up from astronomical ashes that have buried our bodies, becoming like sleeping souls that spring up suddenly, searching for ways to piece together something somber, looking at the wreckage and wondering where to go from here. Minds dreading the future, the news creeping through the globe, anxiety giving no gratification, only multiplying our questions and tears, creating division so tiresome, feeling like years. A year of saying goodbye. We wish this night will give way to light. Being knocked down in times of trouble, we emerge from the rubble. We do not fail, we will flourish. We do not give in, we will grow indestructible. Rising from the ground, noticing what we have found, that this virus will not define us. The next piece that I would like to talk about was really inspired by Amanda Gorman's 2021 published collection of poems entitled Cost What We Carry. As many of you may know, she was the National Youth Poet Laureate and really calls for unity and looking forward in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic in our society. When everything is stripped away, we realize that our one true compass must be compassion. Do not forget that we cannot simply preach, but have to reach out to others, put out our hands so that we can stand stronger as one. For our future depends not on the trends by which we see on the news, but the bends that we make so our friends can once again be close to us. Feeling both scared and scarred, we hang photos on our walls and cling to the hope that smiles will once again appear on our faces. We live for the love felt through embraces. We finally realize that it's not how much money we make, but the moments that we share with one another. And once we said, "See you tomorrow," not sure of what tomorrow will hold, we instead say, "See you soon." We took caution to avoid catastrophe, know that the ache of watching those around us break will one day be over. We apologize if COVID disrupted feelings of being safe. Despite all of this unknown, we still had faith that kept us knit tighter than ever. So when everything was stripped away, we emerged stronger and better. So it really calls for that hope and that encouragement through this time of troublesome and grief. I'd like to end with the power of female voices. And being that this is, of course, a capstone entitled Monstrous Women, I feel that it's important to acknowledge the power of female voices through this poem, Clarity. Just when we've taken off the mask, we are forced down by a time experts label unprecedented. Who or what can save us at this hour? Is it the medicine, the masks, the safety protocols? How can we afford to stand up straight and tall if we are unable... How can we afford to stand up straight and tall if we were unable to stand together prior to discovering this crumbling world? Then what makes us believe that we are capable of emerging from this stronger? People calling out for help that we refuse to offer until a virus comes and attacks us, then suddenly forced on our knees, we plead for a miracle or some kind of sign and discover that now might be the time to rise. Rise up from the disappointment, the anxiety, from the paranoia, rise from the brewing questions, and continue to search for answers. We can no longer see people's smiles, so we look into their eyes, discovering that what connects us all is the clarity of looking towards the future. So now I would thank you. Thank you so much.